What's going on, guys? Vlad with EEenthusiast.com here, and today we're going to be answering a couple of more of the viewer questions. So if you haven't seen, there's been a Q&A video that I did a couple of weeks ago, and it's been quite popular among the viewers, so I decided to continue on with the same type of videos. So I'm going to be selecting a couple of questions that some of you asked in the recent videos and answering them one by one. So I'm going to be answering about 3 questions, the ones that have been either more interesting or more upvoted by you guys. So if you want to submit your questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below and upvote the ones that you think are relevant. And last but not least, at the end, we're going to be unboxing some of these mail items that I've received, which are going to be for some of the next tutorials. And just wanted to really quickly thank some of the contributors on Patreon especially who made this possible. Again, the link is going to be below in the description if you would like to contribute to buy new equipment. But without any further delay, let's get right into it. So our first question comes from a user by the name of Johnny, and he says that my LED turns on with pressing the switch. However, it behaves weirdly, blinking on its own. When I put my hands near to it, then it starts to blink. What is the possible reason? Is it static charge? So your guess is potentially right. It's really difficult to say what exactly is going on, but essentially when you have a floating pin that you're trying to read from, so I'm assuming this is this was trying to blink an LED through a button, and if you have your button signal floating, meaning that it can be either 0 or 1, and once you are bringing your finger in that area, it could potentially charge it up. You get a high charge, thus blinking the LED, and once you remove it, you get a 0 charge, thus stopping the blink. So make sure that your connections are right. Make sure that everything you know on the breadboard is solid. Check your resistances. Maybe there's just like a connection that you've missed, so make sure to let me know if you've solved that. The second question comes from a user by the name of Andrew Van Lagen, and he asks, how do you do the line numbers? And I'm assuming he's referring to the line numbers on the Arduino IDE. And it's a very simple setting. If you click on Arduino, go into Preferences, and you should see a line which says Display Line Numbers. If you put a check mark out there, click on OK, you should be able to see exactly the same line numbers as I do in my videos. The last question comes from a user YA Aditya, and he's asking, according to the connections shown in the video, if I give the voltage of 12 volts in the breadboard, will my Arduino get damaged? And he is referring to the video I did on motors, which I'm essentially controlling through a motor driver that allows 12 volts to be sent to the motor itself. And essentially the answer to the question is that you can only send the 12 volts to the motor side, not the Arduino side. And the reason being is that you will damage the Arduino if you send 12 volts to the board. There is an onboard regulator, but you need to be really careful which pin you use to send the 12 volts on. And essentially the way that works is that the Arduino itself controls the board through a 5 volt signal, and then the 12 volts is being toggled on and on to the motor whenever needed. So it's essentially like a relay or a transistor, so you're not necessarily sending the 12 volts to the Arduino. So be really careful when you're working with those voltages, and make sure that you understand what you are connecting, or you do risk damaging the controller. Alright guys, so last but not least, we're going to be unboxing some of the items that I received in the last several weeks, and seeing what kind of equipment I'm going to be throwing into the tutorials. Not using the right tools to open the packages, but that should be alright. I know what some of them are, but the other ones are a mystery. And it's a collection of items that I got through eBay, Amazon, AliExpress, Banggood, etc. So the first one is a series of ICs. Looking really closely, they are the 24LC256 ICs. Description is going to be posted on your screen of what they are exactly. Moving on to the next item. So I'm going to be actually doing a lot of logic tutorials, videos with flip-flops, etc. This is an LED matrix, as you can clearly see. And let's open it up from the static bag. Really need to get some scissors for these unboxing videos. And it comes with a complete connection and an IC that drives each one of the matrices. So I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to program them correctly. Pins are already bent, but nothing that a little bit of force can't fix. And yeah, planning to program a nice kind of LED display, which is going to be scrolling, which is going to be static. So stay tuned. That should be a really cool tutorial. And let's look at the last package. See what else we got. Honestly, like these take about a month or so to get here from China, so I don't necessarily remember what's in each and every package. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, this is an infrared sensor, which from Sharp, I believe. It's a Sharp infrared sensor, so it allows you to essentially measure the distance through an analog signal. So you have your power and ground, and then analog read back to the microcontroller, and you can see the distance. And essentially I got this because a lot of you were asking me about the ultrasonic tutorial that I made a while ago, and a lot of you are trying to get something that's going to be more sort of in a single line versus in a spread like the ultrasonic sensor, and I've been recommending this particular sensor to a lot of you. So if you want to see the part number, it's going to be right there. And these go for a couple of bucks in on eBay, Amazon. So very cool sensor. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on that as well, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you've enjoyed the content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. I also want you to check out the description and a couple of links that I left for you with extra content. Last but not least, leave me a comment if you have any suggestions for next videos, questions about this topic, or otherwise. Thank you once again for watching, and see you next time.